We got a huge 17 game slate with some day baseball. Let's talk some scene. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back to talk some more MLB. Like you just heard, we got a huge slate today. Yesterday, 2 and 3 day. It was a 3 and 2 card in my head. But unfortunately, a little luck did not go our way. So we went 2 and 3, small losing day. Still been a good last week and a half for us. So we'll talk about that in the recap in just a little bit. Quick NBA update. In case you were looking for an NBA video, there is no NBA video. I've been with my two sick kiddos all day, and I just ran out of time, and I didn't sleep last night. So we had to stick to one video. I only had to pick one, and this one has a lot more info on it, so we're going to go with MLB. But if you're looking for my NBA best bets, still going to have them. They'll be in 3 spots on the post tab on our YouTube page, on X, and on Discord. So I'm still going to be posting some bets for the Thursday slate as I'm on absolute fire right now. 2-0 after a terrible cold streak. But anyways, it was nice to get some winners. So just want to let you know on that. So those 2 outlier giveaways I was going to give away in the NBA video, I will do that in Thursday's NBA video, just so you guys know. So speaking of Outlier, any graphics you see in this video are from an app called Outlier, the best betting research tool on the market today. Click that link below. You get a 7-day free trial. So let's get into it. Because we have no NBA video, I'm going to move that dad joke over to this video. So here we go. I got fitted for a neck brace years ago. I've never looked back since. Okay. In this video, we are going to recap yesterday, and then we're going to go over the good and bad hitter matchups, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, the full 17-game pitcher report, and then we'll give you our best bets to finish it off and the bets recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Come join this awesome community and hit that subscribe button. But it's time to get that baseball journey started, and that means it's recap time. All right, there it is, a 2 and 3 day. That should have been 3 and 2, but this is why we talk about the reads. So the first one, over 8, Boston, Detroit, never a doubt. They ended with 1,000,000 runs. Nice winner there. Mitch Keller under 4.5 Ks. Again, I went with an under Ks prop, and the guy turns into Nolan Ryan. The Mets were swinging at pitches at their eyes on strike 3. Like 3 of their first 4 Ks were on pitches at their eyes. He dominated them. They still lost because the Pirates can't hit. He ended with 8 Ks. I think I'm over under Ks. They're not even fun. Let's just be honest. But Robbie Ray under 17.5 outs. Here is where our winning night turned to a small losing night because, well, he had 88 pitches through 5 innings after like almost a 30-pitch first inning. And then they let him go all the way to 108 pitches. I can't even explain where that came from. He's never touched 100 pitches this year. All of a sudden they said, you know what, just go until your arm falls off. And they had the bullpen going, 2 arms ready to go. He had his last batter, got the 16th out. I think it was Ketel Marte. The 18th out. But that was absolutely brutal. I thought that was a winner the whole way through. But either way, if I know a guy's going to throw 110 pitches about, I'm not touching an under outs prop, that's for sure. But over 9, Dodgers, A's, never a doubt because, well, the Dodgers scored 1 and the A's scored 11, I believe, maybe even more. They might still be hitting. It was an absolute blowout. I almost went with the A's on the money line because it's a tough spot, but I did not have the what's to do it. But either way, take an over 9 winner there. And then, you know what? I haven't bet a lot of over bases, and I bet Bobby Witt. Love the spot here. You know what? I'll take a great hitter. Not even going to combine him with anybody. Over 1.5 bases. What does Bobby Witt do? Which he really doesn't do. He goes 0 for 4. And that's why you don't see a ton of hitter props for me. You know, I do hitter parlays where you just need a hit and stuff like that. But other than that, it's really easy to go 0 for 4 any given night because hitting a baseball is tough. But he did not get the job done. So there we go. 2 and 3 day. All that rant for a small losing day. 107 and 107. Down 3.5 units. I feel good about this card. Let's keep it rolling now. Just a minor speed bump. But let's get into it. That means it's the hitter matchups. All right, we got 13 good hitter matchups for you today. We start out with Bryce Harper. How about 11 for 22 with 6 Jimmy Jacks? That's right. 6 bombs off of Eric Fetty. He is his absolute daddy. Manny Machado, 9 for 20 against Kyle Hendricks. Matt Chapman, 7 for 16 off Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, we got some really good matchups here. McMahon, who's also just been swinging the bat well in general, 7 for 16 off Patrick Corbin. And then you keep going down the list. O'Hearn, 5 for 12. Nimmo, 5 for 12. Then over to the right side, Brandon Lowe, 5 for 11 off Bassett Hound. And so on and so on. I mean, we got some really good matchups, including Juan Soto there against Bailey Falter and Francisco Lindor, 3 for 9 as well. So that's what we got for the good hitter matchups. Now let's take a look at the bad hitter matchups. We just got 6 of them. One of them, Fernando Tatis. But you know what? It's Kyle Hendricks, and he's older, and he has 0 Ks against him. So I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, Gunnar Henderson, 1 for 11 and 4 Ks versus Bailey Uber driver. And then Willie Adames, 0 for 10 with 4 strikeouts as well. So, some big names in there. Again, this is just to kind of help you out. Doesn't mean you have to stay away from those guys or anything, but that's what we got for the hitter matchups. Now let's talk the strikeouts. All right, we got 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups for you. And if you're new to the channel, I just like to give you some of the highest strikeout pitchers on the card that are facing the highest strikeout teams. Doesn't mean it's an automatic bet or anything, but just want to give you more info. The lefty Eduardo Rodriguez at the Giants. Giants 6th highest K percentage versus lefties last 3 weeks, 25.2%. Rodriguez 48 Ks and 40.2 innings this year. Inconsistent with his Ks, though. 3-10 and 1 in his last 3 starts. Much higher K rate on the road, though. 33.7% compared to at home, 16.7. Still small sample size when it's home road splits. Slightly higher K rate versus lefties, as you see there, than righties. And the second one, Chris Bassett Hound versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays 2nd highest K percentage versus righties at 27%. It's not pretty. Bassett 49 Ks and 45.2 innings. In his last 5 starts, 6-4, 5-3, and 10. So, the last 4 haven't been anything crazy with his Ks, but he has the ability, especially at home and against his team, to get some Ks. He does have a much higher K rate at home, as you see, 30% compared to 22.2 on the road, and then a slightly higher K rate versus lefties compared to righties. So, that's what we got for the 2 pitcher strikeout matchups. Now, let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here are the first 9 matchups we have here. Milwaukee, Cleveland. Henderson, I don't know a ton about, but he's only thrown 6 innings, going up against Gavin Williams. Not pitching very well. And by the way, on Henderson, don't look at the 42.9% K rate. It's 6 innings, that's it. But Williams has a 26.9%, still swinging, getting some swing and miss, but expected ERA of 5.26, a high walk rate, giving up a ton of hits, leaving a lot of pitches over the middle, to be honest, and getting hit hard. And then we got Aubert. So the reason why we have 17 games, obviously, is there's 2 doubleheaders. This is one of them. Game 1, Aubert and Kramer. Uber driver's been decent this year. Still not striking out a lot of guys, but Dean Kramer it never strikes out guys. Both good command, though, but both are giving up quite a few hits there as well. Then Eric Fetty versus Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo's been an absolute stud this year, facing the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals. And this is game 1 of a doubleheader here. Game 2 is Sonny Gray and Aaron Nola. How about that matchup? As you see right below you, Nola's picked it up after a slow start. Been pretty good, or usually better at home. Sonny Gray, been his normal self. Just pretty solid all around. And then you got Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Hicks. We're going to talk about that one in a little while. Will Warren, Luis Castillo. I do see some runs here. Castillo, he's better at home, but he's not one of the better pitchers for the Mariners. I'll say that. He's not the same guy as he was a couple years ago. Will Warren, I don't know what to think of this guy yet, honestly. There's sometimes where he looks pretty good and sometimes where he just doesn't, but he has been missing bats, 26% K rate. And then Hunter Dobbins, congratulations. You get to go against Tariq Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. We know how good Skubal's has been. Dobbins been pretty good, 22 innings. Obviously not missing a lot of bats. Both guys really low walk rates and stuff, so we obviously advantage Detroit there. And then Pepe Le Pew versus Chris Bassett. We talked a little bit about Bassett and how he misses bats. And just a reminder, Yandy Diaz also for the Rays is not in the lineup this series. He had issues with his passport or something getting to Canada. But Pepio's been pretty solid. I faded him one time and it didn't work out. So he's been decent. And then Bailey Falter versus Mr. Holmes. He has been a stud. Sherlock is by far the better pitcher, 2.74 ERA. 3.04 expected ERA, so on and so on. So that's page 1. Now let's take a look at the final 8 matchups. We're going to talk about this one later, but Nick Lodolo versus Davis Martin. And then we got Parker versus Bryce Elder. Elder is just not good. That's just my opinion on him. I just don't think he's a very good pitcher right now. Mitchell Parker has had great starts and also some bad starts. Weathers, Tyon, nothing really there. Senzatella versus Patrick Corbin. I'm going to say this out loud. Patrick Corbin has the big-time starting pitcher advantage. Yes, never said that before in my life. Well, at least not in the last 3 or 4 years. Senzatella is awful. 15.2 hits per 9 innings. Guys, he is absolute batting practice. It's just, I'm laughing because 15 hits per 9 is insane. Lorenzen, I think we just cast his over hits a lot, by the way, in his last start. But Lorenzen, 3.5 ERA, one of those Royals pitchers. That's just fine. He's decent all around. And then Hendricks versus Vasquez. We're going to talk about that game later. Hoglund versus Yamamoto. Hoglund's looked good so far, but only 11 innings, and it's Yamamoto. And the Dodgers just got crushed by 1 million runs, so take that for what it is. And then we end with Semien and Woods Richardson in the second game of that doubleheader versus TBD of Baltimore. TBD's got a good arm, I'm not going to lie. But no, really, Woods Richardson, a guy we talked about before, gives up high barrel rate, high hard contact, 5.5 expected ERA for a reason, and pretty much average across the board all the way around. So that's what we got for the entire pitcher report and the research help. Now it's time for the best bets. All right, this first one takes us out to the Bay Area where the Giants host the Arizona Diamondbacks. D-backs on the money line, -112. Giants are -108 with a total of 8 runs in this one. Been on a nice little run with these totals lately. Let's do it again. Let's make it over 8 runs, -110 on FanDuel, 4.5 unit for here. Again, I'm playing it safe. I was close to going a unit. I am going to be doing more 1-unit plays here shortly. But I think this line should be 8.5 or 9. I'm not really sure what's going on here. So, Eduardo Rodriguez versus Jordan Hicks. Well, Rodriguez. This guy wakes up and gives up 3 runs. So, I mean, that's a good start already. But he's faced tougher competition lately. Dodgers 6 earned runs, Phillies 3 earned runs, Mets 8 earned runs. You think, okay, well he's faced some tough teams and all that. Well, guess what happened before that? 4 earned runs to the Rays, horrendous versus lefties. Marlins 10 hits and 3 runs. 1 was earned, still got hit all over the ballpark. Brewers 3 runs, 2 earned, can't hit lefties. Nationals 4 earned runs. When I say he gives up 3 earned runs right when he gets out of bed, I really mean it. Giants, not a great offense lately, but they should be able to get a few runs here. Just scored a ton of runs yesterday as well. But Eduardo Rodriguez, more numbers, 37th percentile barrel rate, 18th percentile ground ball rate. He's given up 8 home runs already for a reason. People lift the ball. I expect a home run or 2 from the Giants. He can miss some bats, but also, like we talked about in the pitcher K matchup, but also gives up a lot of hard contact and fly balls, which isn't a great combo. Struggles versus righties and lefties. 327 average against the lefties with a 510 slugging, 301 average and a 561 slugging to righties. So it doesn't really matter. He does not discriminate. Jordan Hicks, he's also a guy who wakes up and has given up 3 earned runs already. 3+ earned runs allowed in 6 of 7 starts. The only one that wasn't was 2 earned runs. So struggles with his command, but a bit better last couple starts. Some more numbers. He's not a guy who fools hitters often. His velocity, ground ball rate are the 2 strengths for him. But 19, again, his velocity is good, but his fastball is pretty flat. 19th in chase rate, 27th percentile in hard hit rate. He's just flat out not been very good. Struggles equally, righties, lefties, 269 and 275 average with the exact same 385 slugging. And then we go to offenses. Giants are the weaker offense, obviously. But like I just mentioned, they exploded for 10+ runs on Tuesday. Now they get to face Rodriguez, who struggles against everybody. We've showed it. Miami, the Nationals, the Rays. It does not matter. I think the Giants get to him here. The Diamondbacks versus righties last 3 weeks. We know this is one of the better offenses. 10th highest WRC+, 5th highest slugging, 11th in walks. They should have some runners on and be able to hit for some power against Hicks. And then you go to the bullpens. Both are decently rested. But it doesn't really matter because both aren't very good, especially D-backs. They're just not a very good bullpen in general. Now in the weather, we get a day game, which is great in San Francisco. It's not a night cool game in the Bay Area. Wind also blowing out. Absolutely love it. I really don't see, with these 2 pitchers, probably almost a lock every start to give up 2 to 3 runs. I don't see where we're getting 8. So give me the over 8 runs as my first best bet. All right, this next one takes us out to Cincinnati where the Reds host the Chicago White Sox. Reds on the money line -225, White Sox money line +185 with a total of 9 runs. I got a player prop. Give me Nick Lodolo to record a win at +115 on DraftKings for a half unit. If you don't know what that means or how a pitcher records a win, first he must go at least 5 innings. When he leaves the game, he has to have the lead, and that lead can never be given up all the way to the end. Even if it's given up by the bullpen into a tie or anything, then he doesn't get the win. So I think the Reds bounce back here. And I know I'm not a Reds fan. As you Reds fans think right now, this team is frustrating. It's pissing you off probably. They just lost 5-1. Their offense can look just absolutely terrible. But I'm pretty much taking this 225 money line number down to +115. Not exactly. Obviously, you can't just win it anyway. You have to win it a certain way. But let's talk Lodolo. He should go 6 to 7 innings here. We don't need the Reds bullpen for long. But they're not actually terrible this year. This is not their weakness. He struggled more at home, Lodolo, but honestly, it's been 3 starts and with a ton of road starts. So it's inflated due to a terrible outing versus the Nats at home also. Then he also faced a really good offense in the Seattle Mariners. Never said that out loud in the last decade. He's given up 3 or less earned runs in 6 of 8 starts. So he gives his team a chance to win, really limiting hard contact. And now he's facing the White Sox. Been better lately versus lefties last 3 weeks with a 15th WRC+, but only average. They're only average even just due to 2 huge games versus Springs and Valdez. Since then, they've scored 1 total run combined off Reagans, Bubich, and Andrew Abbott. And Lodolo, maybe not in the Reagan's conversation, obviously, but he's looked really good this season, in my opinion. On the other side, Davis Martin for Chicago does not miss many bats. His advanced numbers look bad. He's in the bottom 13th percentile in the following: expected ERA, expected batting average against, whiff rate, K rate, exit velocity, hard hit rate. It just has not been pretty for him. If the Reds can get to him in this if they can't get to him in this White Sox bullpen, I really don't know what to say. Maybe we can never trust them again. But after scoring 1 run in 10 innings yesterday, I think they're pissed off. I think this is a bounce back game. I think they win easily. I didn't want to go -1.5 or anything like that. I just need Lodolo to record a win. Love the value here. So give me Nick Lodolo to record a win at +115 as my second best bet. All right, this third one takes us out to San Diego, where the Fathers host the LA Angels. Padres on the money line -192, Angels on the money line +160, with a total of 8.5 runs. I'm not trying to just give you totals, but here's another one I love. Give me the over 8.5 runs at -120 on Bet365. This is getting a little juicy. I would not be shocked if it's 9 in the morning. I still like it at 9, obviously, but this is a half unit play for me here. I don't really understand this one. With the two totals, I don't really get the lines. The first 2 games of this series, 14 and 10 runs. Again, just a fact, not a reason why I make the bet. But starting pitcher matchup, Kyle Hendricks versus Randy Vasquez. I'm going to let that sit for a second. I mean, these two are hot, smelly garbage. Yes, cut to them both probably throwing 7-inning shutouts tomorrow because I said that. But let's start out with Hendricks. 35 years old, hanging on to his MLB career right now. In his last 5 starts, 1 good one, 4 bad. Giving up 3+ earned runs in 4 of those 5. Struggling versus weaker offenses as well. Let's talk the numbers. Under the hood for Kyle Hendricks. First percentile for fastball velocity. Does that really matter? A little bit, but first percentile means he is barely throwing it. Second percentile in whiff rate, that matters. 5th in K rate. This is, by the way, like bottom 5th percentile. 27th in expected ERA. He's been good with just barrel rate or just hard hit rate, but still finding a lot of barrels. He's not a good pitcher anymore. We all know that. Randy Vasquez, if for those that were here last season, you guys know I referred to him as a future car salesman. Let's talk this season. It's been a little better, I guess, but he's getting lucky. 9th percentile in expected ERA, 18th in expected batting average against, 2nd percentile in whiff rate. Guys, we have 2 pitchers who are both in the 2nd percentile in whiff rate. I mean, that is crazy. And not just that, he's in the 1st percentile of K rate. That means he is one of the worst pitchers in the MLB at getting swing and misses. 5th percentile in walk rate. So not only does he not get swing and misses, he has a hard time finding the zone. 3+ walks in 5 of his 8 starts. 11 walks in his last 5 starts. He's had a 5-walk game, I think twice maybe. But the only 2 things he's above average in out of all of it, average exit velocity and hard hit rate. He still also finds barrels, though. His last 3 opponents also, how about Rockies, Pirates, and Rays? So if you think he's been decent lately, remember that. Still give up 17 hits in 15.2 innings, along with 6 earned runs against those 3. These two starting pitchers should be able to get this total right to 7 or 8 by the time we hit the pen, honestly. And then offenses, Padres heating up. Obviously, a healthy lineup with Jackson Merrill in there is just huge for them. Luis Arias, Fernando Tatis, all these guys. Angels been swinging it better as well. Yohan Moncada been really giving them a boost. Zach Neto, whatever, really swinging the ball well, or swinging the bat well. Bullpens, we know Padres are one of the top bullpens in the MLB, even though they are dead to me still after what they've done. So hopefully they struggle again. But they're pretty rested. They threw Adam and Matsui yesterday, but again, it was like 8 and 10 pitches or something, so nothing big there. Should be rested. Angels, it doesn't matter. They're terrible. It really doesn't matter who's rested. And then the weather. Hopefully, it's going to be cloudy with a chance of meatballs. That's right, because I see a lot of meatballs given up, but honestly, it's wind blowing in slightly. Nothing big here. I like runs, and more runs. Give me the over 8.5 runs. That's my third and final best bet. We ran out of time tonight, but I am going to put the hitters I like today in the pinned comments below right after this video post, so be sure to check that out. And of course, there will be added plays that will also be in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. So that's what we got for today. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. The 3 best bets so far. The over 8 runs in the D-backs and Giants for a half unit. Nick Lodolo to record a win, +115. Over 8.5. Angels, Padres, -120 for a half unit with more plays coming. That's what we got. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I really appreciate the support. Hit that like button if you haven't already. But hope you all have a great Wednesday. Enjoy some day baseball, and we'll talk to you soon.